Take a listen to this. You feel that? That feeling holds the secret of ear training. The secret of ear training is in the feeling. What we're learning to recognize when we say we are ear training is not a particular note or chord or scale or whatever. It's the feeling state that is attendant with those things. Those things and their conceptual understanding, the distance of notes and the patterns and all this, of course, that's all important, but experientially, we feel something when we hear a particular thing. There's a feeling state that comes along with it, and it's this feeling state that we're learning to recognize and putting a label to. The label is the chord or scale, mode, whatever it happens to be, but it's the feeling that we recognize. And if you can feel this, that particular feeling, then you can feel any of the musical feelings. They're all just like that. This is a specific one, and it's one we're going to focus on today, and it's called the tonic. Tonic means the home note, the generating tone, the key center, the resting point of a scale, of a mode, of a key, of a song, the tonic. And the tonic has a particular feeling state associated with it that has this quality of restfulness or completion or stability or whatever you want to call it. And that feeling is something that you can learn to recognize, and it's my sincere feeling that it's the most important one to recognize to begin with because it's so fundamental to all of music. All of modern music essentially revolves around this tonic, this tonal center that gives meaning, that gives experiential quality to all the other notes and chords and everything else that's going on in the music. So to be able to recognize that is fundamental. So once again, here's the feeling. And I mentioned before that it's not the specific note we're interested in. In this case, the note is C, but this same note in a different context will not sound like this. It will not have this restful quality to it. And we can look at a couple examples. So say we're in the key of F instead. There's that C note. Doesn't feel like it did before. Say we're in the key of F sharp minor. Doesn't feel the same as it did before. That's the same note. That's C, right? So it's not the particular note. It's the relationships. We're going to look at 3 levels, you could say, of tonic recognition that you can practice. These 3 levels are based on scales, based on chords, and then based on full arrangements and music. So starting with the first level, based on scales. This is just what we've been doing. It's playing a scale from any key. Say we're in C right now, major scale, ascending or descending. And then hearing, and actually I mean bringing about the feeling of this note within yourself. Of course, it's attendant with this particular pitch, in this case, like I described earlier, but it's the feeling that will precipitate the note itself for the given context. Now you can use any scale for this. It doesn't have to be C major, of course. It could have been F minor, it could have been A Dorian, could have been E harmonic minor, whatever it happens to be. So long as there is a tonal center, a tonic, that's what matters. And you play the scale up or down until the note right before the tonic, say we take E minor. Can you feel it? Do. So to do it, you're bringing the scale to near completion, allowing the feeling of the completion, that is the tonic feeling, to come up in you, and then singing the note that brings that feeling about. This takes some practice, but it's well worth your time because this brings about an experience of producing the tonic feeling, not just hearing it. So singing is an important aspect here. The second level of tonic recognition is through chord progressions. So we're going to take a simple chord progression and then resolve that, just like we did with the scale, but again, sing the note of resolution. So if we're back in the key of C, you could just take 1, 4, 5, and when you hit the 1 again, that's the feeling, right? The 1 chord now, the chord built on the tonic, is imbued with the tonic quality itself. So again, we have so then you can take a more complicated progression, still staying within the scale. So this time I'll go, say, 1, 6, 3, 4, 3, 2. Can you resolve it there? Do. So you practice playing these chord progressions in any order, stopping at some point, and then resolving it in yourself. So you start with ones that you know and you can repeat easily, and then you can start just improvising some chords from the key, stopping at some point and saying, how do I resolve this whole thing? Bring the feeling up in yourself, sing the note. Now the last level, you could say, of this tonic recognition, at least for this video, is feeling the tonic within real music as it's streaming in real time. Now there's many ways to go about this. I'm going to cover 2 here. The first is to recognize the tonic chord or the tonic note in a melody when it comes by in real time. And the easiest way to begin is to take a song that you know the chords to. And every time that the tonic chord comes around, you emphasize it in yourself. So you say, there it is, tonic, home, whatever you want to call it, so that as it's coming, you can feel it. Even if it's just for a brief moment, you can feel it, because often, the tonic chord won't be some super obvious long thing that is like, here I am, right? You might have something as simple, if I'm back in C major again, it might be the second chord in the progression. It starts on F, then goes to C, then A minor and G. So every time it comes around, there it is. One more time. There. It doesn't have to be like it's at the start of the song or the end of the song. It's just in the middle. But still, it has the feeling. It has the feeling state of the tonic associated with it. So you start with a song like that where you know what the progression is and you can willingly emphasize it when it comes around. Then you move on to some music that you don't know the chord progression for, and you just feel into it and you say, can I feel when that tonic feeling arises? And you test, you keep listening to the song and saying, I think it's there, and then you try to figure out the chords, look them up online or tutorial or get them by ear, best of all, and you test and see, is it true? Did I get it where I thought I did? The second way of practicing with real music is similar to the chord progression route, but now we have a whole arrangement. We let the music play in a real song until some point that we've heard enough of it, and you just push stop randomly at some moment. And then you try to resolve the whole thing within yourself and sing the tonic. So in this case, we're asking, okay, I've taken in all of these notes, basically. They're outlining some kind of key center, most likely, and I stop and I say, if this song were to end right now, for instance, how would I resolve it? What would be the most stable note to resolve this whole thing to? And you don't know what chord you're on at that moment or what's going on in the melody or whatever. You just stop and you say, if I were to resolve all of it now, what would it be? And can you produce that feeling? So we can take a couple examples here from tracks that I've made over the past year during my music production streams. I host these music production challenges. And so I've produced a whole bunch of music there and we can use that copyright free. Okay, here's this first example. It's kind of a dark, slower song. Now, if I stop it right there, can you resolve it? Try to bring about the feeling of resolution. What note would resolve that? I'm going to play it again. Can you hear it? Can you feel it? So, to do that, we're taking in all the music, stopping, and you take your time. Can you bring about the feeling of the resolution? If not, play it again. Wait. Can you bring it about? If not, play it again. Wait. Right? This isn't easy. It doesn't come in the first day or two of practicing tonic recognition. But if you can get to this point where you can take in even new music you've never heard before and be able to sing back the tonic by stopping it at a random point, you know you've really brought about this feeling within yourself and your tonic recognition is strong. Let's take another example. In this example, the music comes in slowly with elements being added over time. And there's an experience here when you've directed your intention towards finding the tonic is a curious experience where your mind is trying to work it out. And as every new note enters, it's kind of, in a way, factoring, finding the lowest common denominator, the note that makes sense of everything that we're hearing. So notice that experience. It's subtle, but notice that as we listen, as every new note and instrument comes in, it's narrowing down the options and it may crystallize at a point and you say, oh, there it is, and maybe not. Let's see. Can you feel it? Now that we've got it, listen again. Then notice you might even hear the note right near the beginning, and it might give you the feeling. I'll point it out as we go. Right? This is the whole idea. Taking in, letting it settle, outputting the note that generates all the others, outputting the resting point that makes sense of all the other notes. This is tonic recognition. If you'd like to chat with me and others about ear training, music theory, music production, whatever it happens to be, you can do that via my Discord server, which you can find in the description below. Discord is like a community chat room type of thing where we have a very beautiful community there of people just hanging out and talking about music all the time. You're welcome to join. I also have some courses. You can find the links to those in the description as well. These courses are on music theory and composition, including ear training. If you liked the video, please leave it a like and subscribe to the channel. And otherwise, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you soon.